Your portfolio. It's the key to reaching your audience and showing them what you can do. Regardless of media, whether your art is with sight or sound, you need a concise way to show people how you work, what you produce, and how they might fit in with your creativity. Your work is unique, but it can get lost in the sea of millions of online portfolios. You need a way to stand out from the rest, not only with your work itself, but with the way that it's presented. In fact, there are two obstacles to overcome. The first is the interface between you and your online portfolio. A simple, effective method to create and update your portfolio ensures that your work is readily a reflection of you. Next, the viewer needs a casual but seamless experience to see what you do, learn about you, and then contact you. Today, it's time for a makeover. This isn't a beauty makeover like you might see on a daytime talk show. This is a portfolio makeover. I've reached out to one of my longtime viewers, gathered all of their recent work, and now we'll see if we can put together something that is easy for the artist and easy for the viewer. The viewer is Steve Kemp of SK Photography. Steve is a photography student who has been using his Facebook page as his portfolio site. While Facebook is great for sharing photos, it really isn't the best for showcasing great photography. You know what is great for showcasing great photography? A Squarespace site. Not familiar with Squarespace? Well, the folks there have been kind enough to sponsor a site for Steve so that we can all take a peek at how fast and easy it is to create your own unique site using their templates and tools made specifically for photographers. So, enough chit-chat. Let's set up Steve's Squarespace site. First, when you start up your page, you choose a template, which we've already done. There are a bunch of templates to choose from though. They're all very clean looking and they're all completely customizable. You can even see examples of what others have done with the templates. On to Steve's site. We're on the setup screen. The index is here. This is how your viewer will get around your site using each of these headers. They will see each of these choices and be able to click on them to get to your photos or information, whatever pages you want. Here we have photography, about, blog, contact, shop, and then readme, which is actually just for you, the creator of the page. It gives you some tips on setup. Under photography, you can see two galleries. There are a bunch of really cute photos of dogs preloaded as an example for us. One important thing for us to know here is that even though these are two separate galleries, you don't see these titles right from the home page of your site. Let me show you. Clicking on this eye icon will take us to what the viewer will see, a preview if you will. We can see our headers, photography, about, etc. As it stands, the photography page is the first thing the viewer lands on. So whatever galleries we have under photography, the viewer will scroll through here or be able to scroll through this way. You can see the gallery titles here. Now, a decision needs to be made here. Should we put all of his photos under this photography page where they can be seen all together, or should we split them up? I've already taken a look at Steve's work. He has his portraits, the work that he's probably going to be selling the most, but he also has an artistic side. It would be nice for that to be included on the site, but not necessarily in the same place that he is doing his marketing. So let's go back to Squarespace. We're going to start by unlocking the index here. Now I'm going to add a new page, a gallery, which I'll call Portraits. In this configure screen, I can also make this the site's homepage. I do want that. This type of work will be Steve's real bread and butter for now, and we want this gallery to be the first thing a potential client will see. Let's add his secondary photography page while we're at it. We'll name it Artistry. Now we have the framework to get the images added in. Yes, it is that easy. And if you do have trouble, Squarespace actually has support available 24/7, which you can do via email or through live chat. Then we have to delete the dogs. In fact, we're going to get rid of this entire photography page. Bye-bye, doggies. Okay, Steve sent over a folder of images, so I have quite a few to choose from here. Let's start with the portraits. I only want about 10 or so for this section of the site, so I'm going to have to be pretty aggressive with taking photos out. I want to pull them all in, and then I'll worry about down selecting once they're all in the site. Loving this drag and drop feature, by the way. Done. Okay, I'm looking for a set of photos that will best show off Steve's style and capabilities as a photographer. What makes him unique? And most importantly, we're looking for the photos that will entice the potential client to choose Steve over the next guy. These first few are of couples. These two are a lot alike, so I want to get rid of one of them. I like that they're smiling in this one, but I like the environment in this one. Thinking like a client though, I think I'll go with this one because I can see both of their faces clearly. Okay, so I'll delete this one. Click and delete. Now we are left with two very different but very solid couples shots. Onto the single person portraits. This one is great. It's creative and looks a little high fashion, but it isn't too over the top for a portrait. This shot is nice too. Again, there's creativity here, a moodiness. Let's keep both of these. Now we've got a few shots of the same girl. They're all great images, but we want variety, so let's pick two to stay. These first two are more traditional, so let's choose one of these. I really like how the subject is smiling here. Let's keep the happy smiley one, and on to the next two. This photo is definitely outstanding. It is a special moment that was captured. If I were a client looking for portraits, I'd be sold on this photo alone. So even though I actually like these two, we're going to get rid of them to save room in the portfolio for more variety. Click, click, delete. This photo is so much fun. We've got to keep it. It's another special moment that Steve captured. Kids. The kiddos are important in a portfolio. If you've got some great photos of kids in your portfolio, you are far more likely to book that family with kids. And seriously, this photo makes me want to have kids so that I can have Steve take photos of them. So cute. So let's keep them both. Dogs and a cat. Like having children in your portfolio, if you can show the dog mommy that you have experience with dogs or other pets, she'll be more likely to hire you to take photos of her new puppy or the family dog by the fireplace or other holiday setting. So let's keep at least one of these in here. I actually really like all of them for different reasons, but I feel like this one would be the most widely liked image, so we should keep this one. Okay, let's see how I did. I wanted about 10 photos, and I have 10. Awesome. Let's take a minute to reorganize these and choose which image will come up first when someone lands on Steve's page. I personally like the photos to be a little mixed. I feel like it keeps the viewer interested, like they're wondering what they'll see next. So I'm going to move them around somewhat randomly. Let's take a look at the page so far as the viewer would see it. Whoa, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Luckily, we can fix it. Over here, we click on the paintbrush, which will enable us to edit the style of the site. We can change all of these colors, we can change the typography of everything, the sizes of different things, and the gallery play speed. Now here's what I want though, gallery style. We have it on full bleed. This is great and can be a powerful way to look at images, but it just isn't working for us here, so we are going to change it to center. Now we can actually see the entire photo. And we have a bunch of other options here too, like if we want the transition between photos to be slide or fade, or where we want this navigation bar. We want it at the top or the bottom. We have the whole list of things we can change here, but if there is something in particular that we are thinking we want to change, we can simply click on it. Say I want to enlarge Steve's business name here. Click, and I can see my options for it. We can change the color and shade entirely. Maybe Steve's favorite color is blue. Now let's take a look at the typography. I can make it bold or italic or change the size or change the font. You can seriously change everything. I can even click on this arrow here to change the look of it and its related items even. And if I've decided that I've done too much and I don't like it, I can hit the reset button down here, but I'd better keep the gallery style as center so that I can see the full photo. Let's move on to the artistry section now. Back over to the site management area and we'll click on artistry. Let's again pull photos in and we can take any out that seem redundant or don't really add to the portfolio in a meaningful way. Starting with these fireworks photos, let's choose this one. I like this one because you can see some reflections in the water. Now this one is really cool, but I'm not sure it really adds to the portfolio, so let's go ahead and delete it. This is an awesome street shot. Steve seems to have a knack for capturing the image at just the right moment, so keeping it. Now this could be a good commercial shot, but I really like it for the story it tells, so I think it should remain in the artistry section. Here we have two photos that appear to have been taken in the same tree-lined lane. This first one is nice, but I feel like maybe I've seen something like this before, so I think I'd rather have this one in the portfolio. He's still capturing the linear monotony of the trees, but he also has these women walking, wearing complementary colors that really grab the viewer's attention. I like that this photo is taken from a bit of an odd angle, like Steve was standing in the stream here, so let's keep it. Now we have this contact sheet. I like this because it's showing the viewer a part of his process. When you are selling art, the process and the story behind the art can be as important as the art itself. Speaking of which, I feel like these last ones might have a story behind them. I happen to know that these are film shots that Steve developed himself for one of his classes, but I'm not sure if they fit into his portfolio well. If they were a part of a larger dialogue, maybe they could even be their own gallery within the site, where he could tell their story. For now though, I want to remove them. Now I do want to show you one more thing. I mentioned that I thought that those last few photos could be a part of their own gallery if they had some sort of dialogue, something for the viewer to think about while looking at the images. You can actually add descriptions to your photos that would help with that. If I double click on a photo, this comes up where I can title images or add descriptions. This is a good way to say your piece as an artist. It's adding the story. Moving down the line here, I want to go to Steve's About page. Now, I can't write Steve's artist statement for him, so I'm going to leave that alone. This is what your viewers are going to see right after looking at your photos. What do you want them to know? What I can do is add a portrait of Steve here and show you how dynamic the content is. First, I want to add Steve's picture. This area was a photo that I deleted earlier by accident while I was playing around in here. So pretend you see an attractive gentleman here. We can double click it and add a photo of Steve. There are all sorts of things that we can do here. We can make this look however we want. If we want to add another photo, we can. Click on Add a Block. We want an image. Then we add the image and size and arrange it. You can even edit the image in here. As photographers, I don't imagine we would use this very much, having probably already edited our images, but it's certainly nice to have. We still have blog, contact, and shop here. I'm not going to go in and do anything with those right now, but they are just as easy to configure as the rest of the site. Let's just take a look at what we've created. We can scroll through Steve's portraits here, and then his more artsy stuff here. We can learn about him on his About page, or even contact him here. And if there is anything that Steve sells, prints, anything, it can go here. There's an entire e-commerce solution built right into the platform. Or the page can be easily deleted back in the manager. The purpose of Steve's site is marketing for his photography business, mostly portraits and other people shots, but also to let people know that he has quite an artistic side as well. With his site, he wants to make connections with people that are willing to spend money on quality photography. Squarespace is making that easy for him by having an intuitive and flexible tool for setting up the site itself, plus providing him support at any time of the day or night should he need it. Now, it's easy to get your portfolio together and then just kind of let it sit. All too often when someone asks me to look at their work, I hear, here's my site, but it's not updated. Well, your Squarespace site is super easy to update. You just drag and drop. You have no excuse not to have your latest and greatest work showcased. You don't have to jump through hoops to set it up. You aren't trying to figure out how to add a new photo or delete an old one or add another gallery. You aren't even stuck with one look. You can change anything to customize your unique site. It's just easy. Everything you need is right there. And it looks great. And did I mention that your site is magically transformed into a mobile-friendly format so potential clients can see your work on their devices? Yeah, that too. Have I said enough? I've probably said enough. You're probably all itching to try it out, right? Well, head to squarespace.com/snapchick. There's a link in the description of this video, and sign up for a free trial. You don't even need to enter a credit card number for it. Then, once you realize how much you love it, you can use the offer code SNAPCHICK to get 10% off your first purchase. Thanks, Squarespace, for allowing me to share your all-in-one solution with budding photographers and experienced professionals and everyone in between. And thank you, Steve Kemp, for letting me dig around in your body of work and create this site with you. Okay, Steve, I'm turning the keys over to you now. Take it and make it your own.